good. I might just be out of fuel here. God. I need you to get Chris, and I need you to come out here to the sod farm. I crashed.
Welcome back to another Reacting to Crash videos, episode 12 this time. As always in this video series, we're gonna break down some Paramotor Crash videos, see what went wrong, try to figure out how we can prevent doing the same thing in the future, hopefully to make the sport safer. This episode is gonna be kind of about quality, not quantity, as we have 3 videos to investigate. All 3 of these videos were posted pretty recently in November. Additionally, all of these videos will be linked down below, so make sure you check out the full versions, show the original creator some support, and thank them for sharing their mistakes so that we can learn from them. Before we get into it, starting today until Monday at midnight Eastern Standard Time, every order placed on tuckergott.com will come with one of these fresh new stickers. This is a spin-off of our Flyby design, $5 value, ships in your order completely free. Just recently, we restocked some of the most popular designs, including this beautiful River Foot Drag t-shirt, so make sure you check out the merch down below. Additionally, if you are an aspiring pilot, you want to get into the sport, but you don't want to end up in a Reacting to Crash video, make sure you check out Aviator, who will be linked down below. Learn to fly with them, top-notch training. Hopefully you won't end up in a crash video. Okay, so video number 1 comes from Mr. Johnny Faber. Now Johnny's flying at the Salton Sea, which is a site I'm pretty familiar with. Now this is a 360 video, so we're gonna play it back from a couple different perspectives. I'm gonna do my best to frame it up to show you guys what went wrong. So let's look first at basically what Johnny was seeing. So he's setting up to come in for a landing. Something was wrong with his engine, so he was coming into land, and he's just flying along. He's a little bit high, and he's kind of going long, but no problems here. Unbeknownst to him, we can actually turn around and look behind him. Out of nowhere, this glider comes up behind him. I don't know how it didn't suck that glider in and destroy it, but they had a full-on mid-air collision. Obviously, Johnny couldn't see this other pilot until they were like basically touching each other. That's probably the first time he even knew the guy was there. But thanks to his 360 cam, we can roll back and see exactly what happened. So the quality's not great, but we can see exactly where that pilot came from. It seems like both were turning into the landing pattern on final approach from different directions. Johnny's making a right-hand turn, and this other pilot was making a left-hand turn. What we can see though is that the pilot in the back stayed behind and mostly below the entire time. Obviously he was in Johnny's blind spot, but for him, he could have totally seen Johnny. Maybe his focus was somewhere else, but it totally shows the importance of being spatially aware, really keeping your head on a swivel, seeing and avoiding, especially in situations where there's a lot of other pilots, and especially when you're near the LZ. All right, so this next video comes from Michael Pendleton. What we're gonna see in this one is he runs out of gas and he's called upon to shoot a spot landing. So Michael's flying around, taking in the sunset. He's up decently high. He's got plenty of options for emergency landings when he runs out of fuel.
Oh, that's not good. I might just be out of fuel here. All right, guys, so here we go.
So obviously his motor quits and he has to start thinking, where can I land? He's got a couple different options. Some of them are much tighter than others. And it looks like he chooses this person's yard. It looks like there's some type of crop surrounding the yard, but he's aiming for the short grass. Now, as he gets closer to his target, we can see that he's pretty high and he's probably gonna overshoot.
And that looks kind of high, but I think that's where we're gonna have to go.
And as he takes it long, he's got a tree to the left, trees in front, and a power line pole right ahead.
Oh, God. Oh. Damn. And I caught the line. Me. Unbelievable.
Somehow Michael was not injured. His glider wasn't injured. I don't think he even broke any gear here, but you can see that power line flopping from the impact of his wing on the pole. Now there's a lot of good lessons to take from this one. First off, an obvious one, don't run out of fuel. Second, stay high enough that you have options to make an emergency landing, which in this case, he was doing really well. He was at a safe altitude. He had several options of places to put it down. Third, and I think the biggest lesson is this shows the importance of learning spot landings, practicing them, and being good at them so that if this ever happens, it's a non-event and you could just swoop into that guy's backyard. Maybe he'll throw you some hamburgers off the barbecue and you go along on your merry way. Now, Michael posted that at the time this video was filmed, he had 37 hours, so not a ton of flight time, and it's kind of understandable that he didn't have the spot landings dialed in perfectly at this point in time. This is something I recommend to new pilots though, is practice your spot landings. I fell victim to it in the very beginning. I was so excited to fly, I just wanted to take off and fly for an hour and land an hour later. I think it's a really important thing in the beginning to focus on doing short flights because the flying part is pretty easy. The spot landings and the takeoffs and getting that technique dialed is the hard part. And I think it's super important to get that dialed in the beginning. All right, third and final video comes from Fly High PPG. Now this one was a little bit hard to watch and kind of scary. So we see Dude Man setting up his paramotor, getting ready for a flight. He does his whole routine, clips in, gets ready. He inflates his wing just fine, taxis a little bit, gets off the ground nice and smooth, and then all of a sudden, tragedy strikes.
I need you to get Chris, and I need you to come out here to the sod farm closest to the house. Yeah, I crashed. Yeah, he's home. Don't call the ambulance or nothing. I think I just broke my ankle.
So oftentimes non-paramotor pilots ask me, what are you actually sitting on? How does that whole harness system work? So basically when you take off and you're standing, you're wearing the harness and you're upright. As soon as you leave the ground, your weight is transferred into the leg straps and you're basically dangling in an upright position in the harness. But there is a seat. Typically it's a piece of plywood or plastic or carbon fiber that's in the harness that will scoop under your butt and then you can sit down and it's just as comfortable as any other seat. Sometimes it's a little bit tough to get in the seat though. Now I talked to this pilot about the situation a little bit and one thing he said that was interesting was that he had let other people try on his paramotor. I think that played an important role in this because that change in the harness probably made it a lot harder for him to get into the harness. Now what we see is he takes off and pretty low to the ground, he goes to get in his harness by kind of kicking his legs, but then you see his left hand go down to try to grab the harness. Now my first reaction was that I've seen people make this mistake before. Basically, your mind just forgets that you've got your brake toggles in your hands and that you have to stow it first, then reach down to your harness and scoop yourself, grab your brake toggle again. In this case, the pilot said that wasn't quite the case. He didn't necessarily forget. He just thought that he would be able to reach his harness real quick, scoop himself, and then continue flying away. But obviously that wasn't the case. Unfortunately, in this one, he broke his heel and did some damage to his paramotor. The important part is to do things smooth, controlled, be aware of all your motions, and to not make any large inputs on the wing. So that's pretty much all I've got for you guys today. Special thanks to all three of the pilots for sharing this footage, helping people learn from their mistakes. Show them some support, check out their channels in the description. Also, while you're in the description, check out the Risky Biscuits merch, free sticker in every order, and I guess I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, fly safe, have fun, peace.
face look like that? Oh, gosh. Did we wake you up? Oh, good boy.